these all these religions seem to point in the same direction. And you think that's a good reason to believe?
That's the only reason I have at this point to think that there's
No,
a
that's
reason
fine.
to believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the
Welcome.
physics guy I'm talking to?
No, the physics guy is John. No, I'm glad Milo's here, but the physics
Oh,
guy is John. I sent you
yeah.
a message too, Milo, by the way, buddy. Welcome,
Oh, thank
Max.
you, Andrew.
Yeah, you bet, brother. No, I'm glad you're here. Max Mila, and then, oh, my favorite Sosho. This guy says some bizarre stuff, but I'm glad he's here too. And we got the Dwight Boogeyman. Yeah. Dwight or Max, do either of you guys believe in God? Dwight, we'll start with you, maybe, buddy. You wanted to say anything, Dwight? Can you speak? Okay, maybe you can. Are you
Yeah,
there?
I speak, bro. I'm like driving, so I might be in and out of the matrix. Can y'all hear me?
That's okay. Yep. Are you a believer in God?
Yes, I am.
Why do
I'm a believer
you
in
what
Yahweh.
what do you think a good reason to believe in Yahweh is?
I wouldn't necessarily, if I had to be objective, I mean, it's as objective as I can be. You know, I'm a human being, but I wouldn't necessarily say that, hey, I have a good reason, you know, to everybody's standards to believe in Yahweh. But well, what I would say is, I think that every human being should have a good reason to be agnostic, at least, you know, to say, hey, what they're
I think we lost you, Dwight. You went into a bad zone, buddy.
God's like blasphemer in the media songs.
He's like, what?
Thank you, Andrew, for the invitation. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah. I remember you said something. You said something really grotesque at the end of one of those rooms the other day. Can't remember, so it's been a while, but you gave your account of Judaism and Christianity, and it was something that was very unpalatable.
Unsettling.
Yeah, it was unsettling. Yeah, well said.
Andrew,
Max,
what is happening with these? Well,
Go ahead.
when I go into certain rooms, which I rarely do,
Yeah.
but it's like whenever someone goes to speak, it's like, I would like to thank the moderators for hosting this space. I would like to thank the audience. Like, where does that kind of norm come from?
Interesting.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard that a million times.
It kind of depends. I mean, maybe if you're in a room that you feel like you're going to bring an opposing view and everybody's like primarily against you, you might want to like pave the way by, you know, being, you know, cordial to them, and hopefully it won't come across too oppositional. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. I know what you're
It seems like
talking
to be a
about.
clubhouse norm is what I'm saying. I've never heard anyone do that on Discord.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
It is a clubhouse thing. Yeah, it's
that
giving
is
thanks to the
interesting.
person. It's giving thanks to the person opening the room and allowing others to speak. That's the main premise.
Yeah, I guess because it's not as clear on Discord, it's not exactly perceivable who's the orchestrator of the room or who it is that's running it. You know, so Discord, you just go into a room and there's just people there. It doesn't really have, you don't have mod badges that clearly, you know, denote who it is that.
I mean, in most servers you do.
Well, like I don't know, like when I see that room that says God or no God or whatever on Discord, like I don't know who it is.
Yeah, there's a role. There's a role that says the God or no God, but beyond that, there are just like enforcer and admin roles, and if you go to big politics, there's like a whole ridiculous hierarchy of mods.
I guess what I'm saying is that you can go in and find that, but I'm just saying popping into a room, it's not like it's immediately in front of you as it is when you come into a room like this, right? You see the
green bean, bean,
right? You see who it is that's orchestrating or conducting the room, and so that might make
like
you feel
thank the audience. And...
Yeah, I'd like to thank the audience, thank my mother for raising me and feeding me carrots. Yeah.
Like every time they go to speak, it's like they want an Oscar.
yeah. Oh, very good.
Anyway,
Max,
that was just one.
No, I appreciate that. Max, are you there? Max Mila? Max.
Yes, I'm here.
Are you a God believer, buddy?
Yes, I believe in God. I am Muslim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you, brother. What is the reason that you believe in Allah?
Well, the reason I believe in Allah would would be the culmination of my entire life experience. And if I have to put it in theory, then that would be a combination of intuition, experience, and I would say third-party information.
No, I like that.
These are
That
the
sounds
three reasons why I believe in Allah.
That was pretty good. What would you say to somebody who's interested in becoming a believer in God, but they don't believe in God because they don't see any good reason to believe in God? Like, how would you start with somebody like that? Like Bob, for example.
Bob is
the Jigglypuff at the top of the room there.
So not like Bob, because Bob does think there are good reasons to be atheist.
That's true. I shouldn't say that. What would you think would be a good reason to actually that they should actually accept it, where they should affirm it? That's strong enough to get them to affirm that God exists. What do you think of that, Max?
This kind of a question, or rather I'd say the situation that one would be in is subjective, in the sense I've interacted with many, I would say, Muslims and non-Muslims. And if you ask them, why do you believe in God, or why you don't believe in God, the reasons are often very different, and what they have come to a conclusion based on their experience is always different, because of which it takes time to give one specific, what can I say, a single solution to everyone. There is no golden, this is the one reason I would give. And the reason I think that is because the primary, what can I say, instrument through which one actually knows that there is God is, I believe, intuitive. It's an intuitive first-person, what can I say, a first-person immediate experience. And this is where most believers end up being a believer, which is purely intuition. And what do I mean by intuition? Something that you know by not being taught. You just know it. Like I take this famous example of how if you're a parent and you observe your children grow up, you would notice that your child comes to make sense of cause and effect. And one of the experiences that I've had is I was in a room with my son and my dad, and my dad bought this new Bluetooth speaker which was on his table, and my dad connected his phone to the Bluetooth speaker and he played it, and then all of a sudden there was a voice of a person speaking from the table, and my son, who was around 2 years of age at the time, he did not, his entire 2 years of experience prior to that could not make sense of a man or a voice, a human voice speaking from the table. And it almost frightened him because he did not see the cause to that effect. Only after he saw the speaker, he understood that it's a speaker, and prior to that he's seen a speaker on a TV or on a laptop or an iPad. And then he consoled himself, or he understood that, yes, this is the cause to that effect. And why I bring this example is because cause and effect is intuitive. It is something that you don't teach. It's something you know. And in the same way is the understanding that God exists. You cannot teach it. You cannot use it as a proof to others. It's something subjective. It's first person. It's immediate. It's very primary. And this is one of the main ways often people do not question those who believe in the necessary proofs or reasons to why they believe in God, because it's very immediate. It's very primary. It's almost like you're gonna ask someone, why do you believe what you see? And they're like, I don't know, because I can just see. It's very primary. There's no way to explain or justify your first-person subjective vision of the world. In the same way, this is the position I hold, that the reason most people believe in God is because it's a primary, first-person, subjective, intuitive position they hold to justify their belief. Now, I know this can never be used as, okay, why is that a reason now for me to believe? Like if someone were to ask, I would say no, you can't do that because just because I say this to you, unless you for some reason are not in the same shoe. For that, then we move to things like experience, and then which is third-party information. And that's what we call revelation, in other words.
Okay.
I'm still trying to understand why you invoked cause and effect. Can you explain what the relevance of cause and effect is to believe in God?
Right. So for this, let me just take one step back to, because I know most of you are well read. So I'm just going to take a step back and see if everyone agrees with this. Our knowledge of coming to know of anything, we use a fancy word called epistemology. How do you know what you know, right? And there are three ways or three channels to epistemology. One is intuition, second is experience, and third is revelation, so to speak. But revelation meaning, I'll give you an example. So the first one being intuition, meaning it's just innately known by the person. You just know it. You offer a child a small cake and a big cake. The child goes to the big cake, because for some reason child kind of knows this more is better, and this is what I want. This comes within the realm of intuition. The experience is the child sees fire, tries to touch it, it burns. The child never touches again because the child has learned now via experience. This is the second form of epistemology. And the third being, you tell the child, or you tell even a grown person, what are the rules of driving a car on the road. You just hand over a car to a person, he's going to crash in a few minutes maybe. Unless he goes to driving school, he gets revelation, meaning he gets instruction from a third party who tells him how to navigate the roadways. These are the three forms of knowledge.
Were you born a Muslim?
Okay, so can you tie that now? Can you tie that into the
exactly.
cause and effect portion?
The cause and effect would come within intuition, meaning you just know it. And that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to show that within the epistemic or the branch of how a person would know what he knows, one of them being intuition, cause and effect is part of that branch. Meaning you're not taught by someone that this is cause and effect. You don't.
Okay, well, I get that. You're saying something like the way you come to know something or accept something is some sort of experiential mechanism, right? And you've plotted out three different mechanisms, like that it may be revealed to you, that somebody may teach it to you, that you may just firsthand experience it. And then there's something else, there's like an innate knowing of something, right? And then, but I'm still trying to understand like the how that relates to cause and effect, right? And why cause and effect
It's just
is
an example
something,
of something you apprehend intuitively. Is this
right?
Well, I was categorizing epistemology into three categories. One, as I said, is intuition. Intuition can also be intuition/intellectual, meaning laws of logic would be intellectual. The law of non-contradiction would be intellectual. Someone who has never heard of this law, never studied philosophy, and then you explain to them what this means, they'll be, of course. And they've never read this law before, but they agree. The moment you give the example, the red and the blue ball who did this a while ago in this room, the person who said they believe in contradictions, the moment they heard this, that this is the law of non-contradictions, they agreed, because that was intuitive. But they never in the past maybe read a book on it. Someone didn't have to teach them. They know it by intuition. That's what I mean.
So
by
are
the
you first
saying
category. you think many people believe in God because it's just intuitive? Is it something like that?
I would say that many people who believe in God are in a position of where they are now because of them intuitively thinking and knowing and believing there is God. Because for them, it's as good as cause and effect.
Okay. So do you think that like people can be wrong about their intuitions?
Yeah. So again, I know I use the word intuition, but I'm not talking about the gut feeling type of intuition. I'm not using the word intuition as a replacement for the term gut feeling. Intuition, as in it is innate. It's
Internal?
It's part of your system. Internal, it's part of your system, meaning it's very primary.
Do you think it's something like this? Like maybe, are you saying invoking something like this? Like you were just talking about somebody explain something to you and you go, oh yeah, that's right. Are you saying like you already know it's right, but then when somebody explains it to you, it like comes out of you like, yeah, I knew that all along. It was explained to me. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes.
And do you think that's what God
one
is?
part of it.
Do you think that's what
yes.
people believe of God? Like they know it internally, and then when it's explained to them, they go, oh yes, that's it.
Yes, and that's the purpose of, that's where dialogue would lead to bringing that intuitive part of you to confirmation, meaning you who did not know this prior to this. Okay, so here's the thing. Maybe you're talking to me from your position so far. The way you framed this question and asked this question to me, I don't think another person who believes in God would be able to make sense of your question in the same way. What I mean is, the belief in God is internal or innate, and after dialogue and discussion, there could be a scenario, where the person would say, now it makes sense. Now I understand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's run with that for a second. And I'm just trying to figure out whether that actually is a reliable way to know something, right? Because it seems to me that even on your view, right, there's this sort of like innate, like you already know it. It has to be explained to you, and then you sort of just self-discover it because it's inside of you. That's what I'm taking you to say. And if I'm close, great. If I'm way off, then stop me. But if I'm close to what you're saying, we'll just move forward. But I'm wondering.
Yes. But that's one avenue through which one can believe in God. Yeah. Yes. And the other avenue obviously is experience, which we cannot discuss, because if you have experienced something personal, you can't use that as a proof for the existence of God. So that's personal. Okay. And often where we go to is either the first one, which is intuitive / innate, which also includes the laws of logic, and then proving God through logical necessities and whatnot, which is where you have all the arguments, like the Kalam and etc.
Sure.
I don't want to go there because I'm sure you all have gone back and forth several times with.
Fair enough. Do you think there's some falsifiability mechanism to what you're saying? Because it seems to me that, like, just when I start to think about what you're saying, I already see like just a real world problem in what you're saying, because a lot of people would claim to have an innate belief or innate understanding of a God, and those gods that they have an innate understanding of are wildly different from each other, right? And so they have like seemingly contradictory understandings, these internal understandings of God, and they're so different. Like one is the God of Islam, one is the God of Hinduism. There could be like other gods that are not Christian gods. There's like all sorts of different gods, and if they all invoked, oh, somebody explained it to me and it just came out of me internally and I just made sense to me because I just think it was there all along, and they've now sort of scratched the itch, as it were. Like, it seems to me that you've now got a problem of, at the very best, undeterminate. You can't determine it because it's underdetermined, because nobody seems to come up with the same innate answer.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and the part which is innate, and the fact that internally that God exists, and then of course after discussion the person would say, yes, it makes sense. This does not apply to what can I say, these specific, for example, names of God as such. Like it's not that you would explain this to a person, and the person would say, now it makes sense why God's name is Jesus. This is not what I'm saying. The properties of what makes a God God, or the God, which is universally shared amongst all forms of the God, can be concluded too through this interaction. What I mean is the all-powerful, the all-controlling, the ever-living, everlasting creator, purposeful, intelligent. I'm talking about these attributes, which all
Max,
all religions,
may I ask you a
when they
question?
say God.
Do you read Quran in the original or a translation?
I
Well,
do both.
we can get there. Let's hold on. Let's set that aside for a second. Like what I'm trying to figure out here is, you now have invoked a new set of criteria, right? You've said, well, people just innately know these things. And then when I
Hmm.
pressed you and asked you, well, people are going to just come up with wildly different, versions of God. You now started invoking like some base properties that people innately know, right? That there's a creator, that he's all powerful,
Yes.
et cetera, right? But I'm just wondering, that seems a little bit arbitrary, right? Because what you're saying is, well, people have this innate knowledge of like a base creator, but they can't have an innate knowledge of that it's Allah or Jesus or Hanukkah or any of these other gods that we can invoke. Just can't know that like innately. And I'm just wondering where you're getting that from.
And yes, see, because okay, so that's two things here. First thing, obviously, because we're having a conversation, there will be things you are presuming of what I say, and then the more we interact, things will become clearer. So it's not like when you
Sure,
pressed on me that I
sure.
had to. It's just that our thoughts are coming out. They're
Okay. Well, if
as
you
we
took
say,
the
as we
word
as
if
we
you took
speak.
the word press to be like in like a negative way, I apologize.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
just I'm
saying,
just
like,
I'm
I
just
further
clarifying because
investigated your view. That's all.
yes, correct. That's right. So, um, if so this is a standard position that I hold to, which is
Right.
if you go to any person of any religion and start talking to them about God, and they are not an invested theologian or someone who has studied their religion and all its tenets to the core and held to their principles and the different creedal beliefs. If you just talk to a lay person who believes in a certain religion and has been worshiping this God, let it be Jesus, let it be Shiva, let it be Buddha, anybody, in which at least the idea of God is an all-powerful creator, you would see that um, all of these laymen from different religions would accept and agree on this very universal idea of God. And that's what I'm referring to. Because when you go to creedal beliefs, for example, the Trinity and the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the concept of that, I'm not referring to these kind of intricate details of what the God is. I'm talking about the specific. I'm not talking about the universal, generic qualities, properties of God. These are
Okay.
innately known by a person, is what I mean.
Okay. So,
And
would it
you
be
would see
fair to
this if
say that
you.
you think that it is innate within us as human beings that we believe that there is a creator?
Yes.
Okay. So if
No, not
somebody
just
starts
not just the creator. Okay, but let's say yes.
creator God, is
Yeah.
that better?
Yeah.
Creator
Yeah. No,
God.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then, so if somebody starts to explain Islam to me, that cannot, by your own lights, be an innate piece of information that I already know.
Well, when you say Islam, you mean
The
like
God of
the
Islam, Allah, that
okay,
Muhammad
the
was
God
his
of
prophet,
no,
that
you don't have to. I mean, prophethood is not covered in this yet.
that's what I'm saying.
In
Like
the
those are by your definition, by your lights, that is not something that's innate in us. We're gonna have to learn that. Because you
true,
think that
yes,
that really the only thing that we innately know is a creator God
yes.
with some very broad definitions of his powerful, that he created, et cetera, right? But that's it's very baseline, correct?
Well, again, it depends on what baseline means, but it is sufficient for you to not be someone who says there is no God. Sorry, it's sufficient for you to not be someone who says there's no God. That's right. Yeah,
Okay, okay,
you wouldn't end up being someone who's now outright rejecting
great.
this idea, this concept.
Okay, good. So if it's okay, I'd like to move forward with that now. Is that okay? We can move to another step. Is that okay?
I mean, I don't know what these steps are,
Well,
but
I mean,
sure.
like, I think I understand your concept. I just have another question, further like line of questioning, if that's okay. But I don't want to
Yeah,
like
yeah, of
make you
course,
feel
of
right.
course.
So let's for this discussion, let's accept that I have an innate belief that there is a God creator. Right now, the next step is, who is that God creator? And your position is that it's the God of Islam, right? So, what do you want to go ahead and give me your best shot as explaining to me that this God that exists, that I already believe in, that like I have an innate belief in, is in fact the God of Islam?
Yeah, yeah. So here's something interesting. Um, when Muslims worship, when Muslims worship Allah, the God of Islam, uh, the way I mean, I'm using the phrase "the God of Islam" because you used it.
But
Um,
whatever term you want to use, it's
no, no, but
your faith. So I want to make sure I mirror you. I don't like make you feel like I'm saying something wrong. So
no, it's not that you're
do
saying
you
something wrong.
please use the
There could
term
be
Allah? Okay.
there could be there could be subtext to this which I don't know, or maybe
Okay.
there are presumptions on your end. So I'm mirroring you
Yeah.
because it's your question.
Okay.
Um,
I will
so when
just
it,
submit to you, for you in the room right now. I have no like hidden agenda up my sleeve, and I'm not like trying to find a got you to you, and I'm not trying to pin you in a corner in the sense that like I already think I know where this is going to go. Right. I just would like you to explain to me that this innate God creator that we all believe in, is the God of the religion that you follow. Is that fair?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
My reason for making these clarifications is so that you understand me clearly. That's it. It's
Sure.
I
Sure.
mean, I'm least worried about gotcha moments.
No worries. I just want to make sure that you
I'm
don't
very
think I'm like being
anonymous. I'm not.
dishonest.
So when it comes to Allah, the belief in Allah, or the idea of Allah, most of what a Muslim believes in, the everyday standard, 1 billion Muslim would be that, he is the primary source of everything, the all powerful, the creator, and
Okay.
has to be uh, needless, self-sufficient, and is not in requirement of anything. And now that we know of him, we worship him. This is
Okay.
the standard view. Now, if you ask me, how would I tell someone that this innate position that you have is the God of Islam? That very innate position is the God of Islam. What I think the next step is someone asking me, well, why would I want to believe in this whole religion as such? Fine, sure, I believe in this. I agree that there is this innate powerful being which resembles everything the God of Islam has to be, because the God of Islam is just that. There's no more that has to be described that removes or puts more specifics or specifications to this God. The God of Islam is
Well,
as much as what the innate belief holds. If you're going into the specifics, then what the question you're asking is, why would someone want to believe in the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad? Because the details and the specifics come from there, like the particular name of this God, the particular decisions of this God, the laws of this God, the consequence of not following the laws or believing in him. Those are particular to the Prophet who brought this revelation from this God. But
right.
innately, yeah, so the discussion would move
Okay.
away from innate to
Exactly.
something
So
more
that's what
about.
I'm saying. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you that like, right. I'm saying to you that there are many religions that we could come up with that would satisfy the base positions of a God creator. We could come up with many of them, right? But then from there, you believe in a particular religion that has specific claims and about who this God is, what its name is, who his prophets are, how he has revealed the information to us. And I'm asking you, if you're comfortable, if you could tell us why we ought to believe in your specific religion over the other ones that seemingly satisfy the same information.
There are two parts. There are two parts to this kind of situation. One being that I would say that even when you do the innate interrogation, like when you go back and forth with someone who, let's say, believes in let's say Shiva, a Hindu god, and you go back and forth with him with these innate concepts, it'll come to a point where his primary understanding of Shiva will start breaking down. But in the case of Islam, the primary understanding of Allah does not break down within this innate interrogation. And one of them, for example, would be the idea of Shiva coming into existence and not having been there always, not being an eternal entity in some form. Again,
if it's okay with you, I just prefer that you make the case for your faith, because it's possible that these other faiths are wrong. But I'm sure, as you would know, if somebody else has something that's wrong about their belief, that does nothing to make your belief correct. So
no,
what I'm trying to figure out is, like, if you would just,
I mean.
Yeah.
Is there a queue? Is there a queue? Is there a queue where we can talk about the reality of God?
This isn't my room. Andrew or Bob, are you there? Albedo? Do you want Albedo?
Well,
Andrew or Bob, do you want me to be quiet?
I mean,
I will. I thought we were going to find.
I don't give a shit. You do whatever you want, Tim. You're a grown man.
I think you're doing fine. You're getting.
Yeah, I want you to be quiet, Tim.
Let's talk about the reality of God.
Well, Mark,
be quiet, Tim.
Hi, my name's Mark. I'd like to totally change the subject right now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mark,
it's going nowhere, obviously.
Mark, they actually have gone somewhere. They're getting to the point where he's going to make a case for Islam in particular. That's what Tim's asking for right now, and I think that is actually a reasonable conversation. I actually like the stuff that Max is saying too, so this will be interesting. But you can definitely get in, Mark. But let's just let them go for a little bit longer if we could.
Yeah, I don't want Tim to talk anymore.
Thanks, Miller.
Go ahead, Tim.
Love you, Miller.
I had a question for Max.
We'll get you in, No Show. Just hang tight, brother. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah. So I would just say this, like, maybe we could make this a little quicker. If you feel like you can give us like a good case for Islam, then great. If you're like, hey, I just don't feel like that's something I want to do, then I'm totally okay with you not doing that as well. But I'm just saying, like, hey, look, I've tried to feel like I've granted you a lot. There's an innate knowledge that there's a creator, God. We all have that. And now there's this, you belong to a particular faith, and that's Islam. And I'm asking you, can you give us like some reasons why you think your faith is the true faith of this God creator and why we ought to follow it?
Yes, if the conversation moves in that direction, as mentioned earlier, we will move away from discussing the specifics of God. Discussing the innate conclusion of what God is, to the particular revelation, which is Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, which is a historic figure who brought this revelation. So we would go into discussing why we believe that the Prophet Muhammad is
good
a God
sent
person.
I like that. Good. So
and we will also go into why the Quran, we believe, is a divine source of information. These are the two discussions we'd go into. However, right now, if we have to expand on them, it's not like a 2-minute back and forth. It's a few hours of discussion, or it depends on where do you want to start from, or what is it that would convince you? What kind of information are you looking for? What are the reasons you are where you are? So it would come down to deconstructing some of your false ideas and then constructing, so it is a back and forth. Max, I don't know of one.
Max, please, Max, how you know that Muhammad was hearing God? I would say Muhammad maybe was hearing Satan. Satan revealed the Quran. How you can prove me wrong?
Yes, of course. For that, you would look at the whole of the Quran. You'd look at the whole of the religion. You would have a general look at what his life was, the outcome of it, the interaction of the people of the time that he lived with, the fact that all of his friends and enemies accepted the religion, the fact that even after he died, there were no oppositions to his specific message. It's a whole long discussion.
Not true, bro. Not true. All these claims are not true.
Yes, see, now that's the first objection you've brought, which means now we will open up this specific discussion and we'd go into it, and then I would go back and forth with you as to why that is true, and you would try to tell me why that is not true, and then you would bring references, I would counter them, and then it's a longer discussion. You see, the whole idea is I'm trying to show Tim how this conversation would move. If you want to go,
Max, I hope you felt like I've been honest with you. I'm ready to have this conversation with you, and I've agreed to all of your stipulations so far.
Yes,
would you like to continue to talk?
I am as well happy to have this conversation, but it's a
you
want
to start with. Well, we could get a little bit. I mean, it's not possible we're always going to finish everything, but we could get somewhere, I think. But if you feel like, hey, it's going to necessarily take 2 hours, and I can't,
it is going to take a long time, because the first objection that I've received will require discussing on riwayat or ahadith or tariq, which is history, and then understand why. I think someone spoke about this. I think it was Shushu. Why Shushu thinks otherwise. Then it would go down to references, which would then be something that only we both will discuss to the extent of how much we know. The rest of you will.
I just take it this way. Here's how we could maybe start. The religion of Islam is very dependent upon the claims that Muhammad made, correct? We just widely, he claims that he received multiple revelations from the angel Gabriel over an amount of time, and those were the recitation that he taught to other people, and that ended up being the kitab, right? The book, right? The Quran, right? And so what the question is why should we believe that he actually received anything from the angel Gabriel, given that he didn't? The only person that ever made those claims was him. Nobody else. There's no independent verification that he received those claims other than him. Why should we believe what he said as true, or not just merely some things that he either believed that he heard or made up?
Yeah, so the Prophet Muhammad is a historic figure, and
yes,
whatever he's claimed in a context or in a setting, a time in history. And as people who are trying to investigate this event of the past, our source is limited to what history has recorded of him saying and those around him at the time. So we are limited. This what can I say? The available. I'm thinking of a good word. What we're basically left with is to scrutinize and verify, and even do abduction of this history that we have.
Max,
are you following? Are you following me? Because
yes, I am, Max.
This is something most people don't do, and that's why they fall into the trap of asking, "How do you know that the Prophet Muhammad, in his first subjective experience, was not talking to a devil, or rather, an angel, but rather was a devil?" You would never know what he was first person experiencing. All you would know is what history has recorded of him and the context of the time.
I have a question for you.
No. Before you move to another question, it's very important, Shushu, that we engage in this, because this is the
bro. I'm trying to.
This is the seed from where the whole.
Hey, Max, Shushu. I guess Shushu just really wants to talk to you. Max, you and I will have this conversation another time. I don't want to mess it up, and I enjoy talking to you. So maybe you and I could talk another time.
Good thing, Tim. Right?
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Is there a queue, guys? Is there a queue? Is there a queue?
Oh, no, I want to hear them go at it. Please.
No, let's stop bickering back and forth about the reality of God.
Man, no. He's going to try to reprove Islam. Come on.
This amazing
we're here to bicker, man. Why are you stopping it?
Hold on. Legit, and Mark, hold on. Legit, Mark, hold on. No show. Go ahead and ask your questions to Max, and we'll get Mark in. Go ahead. No show.
Thank you. My question for Max is the following: I want to know his background. Like, is he a Sunni Muslim, Shia Muslim, a Qurani Muslim? I just want to know, like, what his faith based on.
Yes, Sunni.
Oh, Sunni. Okay, so do you believe in Al-Bukhari and Muslim and all the Sunni tradition?
Yes, these are sources of history. Yes.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. Okay, so my problem with your theory is the following. Okay, I see Muhammad through the Quran and the tradition or the Hadith that he was a great person, a good man, until he got the revelation. After the revelation, he became a totally an evil person. Okay, that's my argument. Can you prove me wrong?
That's not your argument. That's your
Go
statement.
Ahead.
It's a claim you've made. It's not an argument you're making. You just made a claim.
I will bring you
evidence.
I mean,
I can make any claims and say, can you disprove or prove it? That's not a conversation going anywhere. You've just made a claim. You've not. You have to make
no, bro.
An argument.
An argument
would be this. An argument would be this. As soon as he died, many of his followers left him. All the closest ones left him. They tried to fight over his kingdom, and they wanted to become the next prophet. Most of his wives left him. They spoke bad about him. There are so many reports about him that are evil that have come after he died. This is a good argument, but I don't see any of this historically. You find none of this.
Bro, if I see the Quran...
No, you hear what you hear what I said. That would be an argument.
Okay.
That would be an argument to present, and then say, Afzal, now explain all of these post-Muhammad negative reports about him. Because, of course, during the time, he might have been powerful, people were under his control, so nobody spoke against him. But right after he died, so is the case with most, famous people. The moment they died, after they're dead, you'd have many reports that come about how they treated, how he or she treated them from their closest people, and you don't see such a phenomenon happen with the Prophet Muhammad, which is why I'm saying you didn't present an argument. You just made a claim that he was an evil person, and you're asking me how do I counter your claim? I cannot counter your claim. I have to counter an argument. You haven't presented an argument.
Because I have evidence, bro. I have evidence. That's why I'm saying.
Yes, you do have evidence which you claim. Again, this is another claim. So you have to present the evidence. And if we go into that conversation, it's going to be a very long conversation.
So may I give you an example? Okay, give you some examples. I told you when we
give me one example.
Muhammad,
one example, not so many. Just one is
okay.
One
I'll give you an example. When we study Muhammad's life, we will see him before the revelation. He was a social person, helping other people, very friendly. Many people they have good reports about him. But after the revelation, he became violent, hateful. He even threatened others to behead them, kill them. He took booties from war. He married many women. He wasn't satisfied sexually, bro. This guy was just like King David, a man who has an unending appetite for everything. For example, he says, I'm the best of the creation, and yet I'm not proud. I mean, what kind of person could say that unless he's mentally unstable? I am the best of creation, yet I am not proud. I mean, that's a contradiction. In hadith it says, "Ana sayyidul khalq, wala fakhr, wala fakhr." So no pride in this. Can you explain this, please? Go ahead.
Yeah. So you said a couple of things. You've said many things, and all of this comes down to first of all understanding that if there's a person who is genuinely a prophet of God, and to be the final messenger of God, it would be within God's gifting or ranking of an individual to make him the best of creation. So if he is genuinely a prophet of God, there is nothing wrong in him informing people of his status that God has given him, which is that he is the best of creation. This is one side of it.
Bro, so you have a
No, hang
contradiction.
on.
You are
I'm not
telling
even
me.
done. Are you
Okay,
okay
go
with the
ahead.
first part, which is that if there's a prophet of God, can God title this person as the best of creation? Is that a fair thing or a sensible thing to do for God, to title his messenger as the best of creation?
Yeah, but who is
No,
saying that?
of course,
It's Muhammad
of course,
himself.
because he is the messenger of God. Like if I were to come down to a country and say, I am the minister of Uganda, and I am the best of the ministers of Uganda, I'm the best person to represent Uganda. You can't say, well, who are you to say that? I would say, well, on
Hurry
behalf of
up.
the
Oh my God, hurry
No,
up.
Ugandan.
that's a circle
No, it's
logic.
not. It's not because
Circular
it's
logic,
not because
bro. Like
giving
Max,
you, if
Max,
Messi were to come and say
please,
he's the best player
please,
in the world, it's not because he claims
Max,
to be the best player. It's because someone has titled him the best player, which is the organization FIFA
bro,
and the Ballon d'Or or whatever.
bro. If I tell you, bro,
No,
if I tell
you
you,
should first reject my analogy of Messi to say that doesn't make
because that's
sense.
just a claim, bro. That's just a claim, Muhammad.
Again,
You are telling
follow me,
me.
follow me.
Just let me finish, bro.
You're dismissing my responses. This is the problem.
Bro, you are contradicting yourself, okay? Because when you tell me God says, and I tell you, okay, how you know God said that? You are telling me, well, Muhammad told me that God says.
Yeah.
So you are going back to Muhammad again.
So the question has two parts, Shosho. There are two parts of the question. Number one is, we're discussing two different things. One is, how do you know that these are things God said? This is now epistemology. The second part of the question is, once we know that this is what God has said, then we will question the idea, if the Prophet Muhammad said so, does it seem like he is an arrogant person? These are two different things, because we can discuss either one of them first. And the first one we should discuss it.
Yeah, you know why?
No, the first one we should discuss is epistemology. How do we know that these are things God has said? For that, we have to first prove that he is a messenger of God. In order to prove that he's a messenger of God, we have to have a discussion in that direction.
You are going, bro. That's a long argument. I mean, that's wrong argument.
No, because in your question, there's a hidden presumption that you don't believe he's a prophet of God.
Okay, just think as a logical person. Okay, the default of everything is zero. Okay, the zero default of logic is that everyone can claim anything. Okay, I can't claim myself.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
The best of creation.
I agree with you. But
okay?
I asked you a question right in the beginning to see if you can make sense of it. If a person, not the Prophet Muhammad, let's just keep the Prophet Muhammad aside. If a person is actually a prophet of God, is there anything wrong in that person coming and telling his audience that God has said that I'm the best of creation? I just want to know if you...
Of course there is something wrong.
Okay, then we can't have a conversation further, because to you, it doesn't make sense that God can declare someone with a title and that person just comes and tells you, this is the title God has given me. You are seeing a problem in this?
Yeah, because they gain power through that claim.
No. Now you're going into the intention and you're going into other aspects.
He's right, Max. He's right, Max. He's right. If you claim God as your authority, you gain power from that. That's human history.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm asking is, if there is a person who's genuinely selected by God, is it okay if that person who's genuinely selected by God, right, to come and say that God has given me this title?
But who's to say?
Who said so?
Yeah, who's to say?
No. It's a if question. If there was a person who was sent by God, is it okay if that person said, this is the title God gave me?
I would say no.
Then we can't have a conversation further, because you are...
Max, can we talk about the reality? Can we talk about the reality of God, the situation we're
I don't want to bunny hop here and there, because...
I know, because you are trapped in a nasty fog of faith where Muhammad is your co-speaker. Come on. Why are we doing that? Why can't you and me be the prophets who receive personal revelations? Because ultimately speaking, When we're talking about Abrahamic faiths, we're talking about individual prophets. And we're missing the point that all of us talk to God personally. And you're missing that point, I think. You keep bringing up Muhammad and Moses and Jesus and all this stuff. Not that you are, but the room does. Why can't we all have a personal relationship with this amazing force, the billions of us rightly honor with the sacred title of God? Yesterday, we're
Okay,
years late.
how do we settle disputes then?
First of all,
in a world full of people with
I'll tell you, so easily,
with anger, with greed, with hatred, how do you settle disputes?
So easily.
You need a lawgiver.
Here it is, Max.
And that's how humans always flourish. We have a system
Max,
that
if I may,
keeps things in order.
You asked a question. Here's the answer to the question. All is sacred, nothing wasted. That's how you solve all of everything. All is sacred, nothing wasted. All comes
and I don't understand what you're saying.
All right, what I'm saying is we are all the Muhammads, the Moses, the Jesuses, each and every one of us conscious beings, those who realize we beat the astronomical Powerball odds of being here in the first place. We're in this physical realm. Hopefully there's more after this. I have no clue.
Sure. Let's be that. All right, fine. Let me agree with you for the sake of agreeing. Let's be that. Is it
possible?
What's the utility of doing that? Tell me for the rest of mankind.
All right. If we take
Is it just a personal thing? Is it's not. Is everyone for themselves?
It's not, Max.
Then it's okay.
It's not. Here's what I'm saying.
You have to show something more utility to that belief.
And I will.
Max, can you listen?
Here it is.
I am listening. Which is why I'm being specific with my discussion.
Max, you're interrupting, but that's okay because I interrupted you, so I'm sorry for doing that. But here's the fact that no rational mind can deny. The Word of God is the creation we behold. God talks to us through the physical evidence that proves this force is real in the first place. Life, nature, and the universe. How do you take care of it? How would you take care of your creation? What if you created something and somebody trashed it for no good reason? God talks to us through life, nature, and the universe. That's a fact that no rational mind can deny. You can go back to the books that, especially Jesus, because he wrote.
Mark, are you Christian?
I'm a pure deist in the pure sense of the word. I follow the proper path of understanding this amazing force we call God. That's a fact. And
okay, I think we're now changing the topic. We're going somewhere else.
Whatever. All right.
Again,
I am an atheist,
because
by the way.
I think we started with something. Now we have moved away.
You want to talk
I'm
about
okay. This is not my room. I was only interacting with you gentlemen here.
Well, Max, before you go, what if you are Muhammad? What if you are the person who could save us from this nasty system that's going to change everything in a very short time unless we get our truths. Wait.
Yeah, I guess it's a what if.
It's not a what if. It's our actions. That at the very least, Max, if I may, I'm glad that you believe there's an intelligence behind it all that judges you, because we're going to need that. So whether you're Muslim, Christian, or Jew, at the very least, as warped as I think your interpretation of ancient linguistics is, at the very least, I'm grateful that you believe there's an intelligence behind it of all that might judge us in the end.
Mark, so I don't know, I think I have a better position arguing against Max because first, I have a Muslim background. I was a Muslim. If you divide my life in two, the majority will go to Islam, being a Muslim. But now, as an atheist, I think I understand the world better than.
If your end result is atheism, personally, let's not even talk because you're rambling on. If atheism is your end result, please spare us from your freaking delusion. Really. I mean that with all.
Atheism means,
I mean that with all
bro. Mark,
disrespect. Atheism
bro,
is not a faith to contend with.
bro. Atheism means that I believe only in this natural world. That's
You got to
something
go
we
Google
can
the word, please.
test. We
Go
can
look up the four
we can
horsemen
test.
and understand what atheism really means.
No, you tell me what is God? Okay, how you believe in a God? Okay, what does God mean?
The physical evidence of life proves that there is a force that we come from. Contemplate this very real moment we're having right now. Rolling your eyes.
Yeah, but what kind of God would create all this evil?
Who knows?
In this
but
world?
Guess what? What if it's not evil? What if it is a test? What if there is something very real after this real life is over? And if that's true, how would you live your life if you knew that you were being judged? If this was a test, what would be your test?
Bro, okay. You are assuming, many things at the same time. Can you close the microphone, please? There is too much
Sure,
noise.
sorry about that.
It's okay. So, my friend, you are giving me too many assumptions. I'm telling you that, when you tell me God, let's say this God created us, he is enjoying this creation, but once we are gone, there is no afterlife, what's wrong with this argument, God could be someone who enjoys creating things, but he doesn't care what are you doing or where you go after, because once we are dead, we are dead, we are done.
You're talking atheism.
What will you argue
You're talking
against?
atheism. The lack in belief in theism, right? You put an A in front of a word, it means the opposite. So if I'm a theist, which I am, I believe that God plays a conscious, active role in my life. I'm an older person, and I still believe it wholeheartedly. Atheism, the lack in belief in that, is rational too, don't get me wrong. Atheism could be, because none of us knows what this force is that we all come from, yet we know we're here. And
yeah, but why he will create all this suffering? I mean, what's the point of creating a baby with cancer?
Real quick, we collectively, throughout human history, have been able to create less suffering. And maybe that's the whole goal of it all. I have no clue about that. But we could change not only our lives, but the life that surrounds us, with this understanding that we come from some intelligence behind it all, that God, theism, provides. Theism is a great plateau for the human race, I think. People who contemplate this force, which must exist because we're here talking about it right now. I mean, if you could, right? We come from something.
Bro, you are giving me assumptions.
Not assumptions.
Without
I'm talking about the reality of our condition.
No. Let me give you an example. Like, even without God, a human being coming to this world, like any other biological thing alive, will naturally try to make things better. So whether God exists or not, that's not the case. Like, for example, my whole life was suffering. So whether God exists or not, of course I will try to make my life better. So I don't know what this has to do with God.
What I'm saying, first of all, when we're talking about God, Allah, a pointer word that starts us on a grateful path of understanding. First of all, you have to understand, as bad as your life may have been, you have beaten the astronomical Powerball odds of being here in the first place. Can't you be amazed by that, at the very least? If you thought of your own existence, your parents, and go to the vast realm of time that you are here, even speaking, can't you even be blessed at that thought?
No,
of course not.
You know why?
You're an atheist.
Bro, you know why?
You're an atheist.
Because, no. Because when I saw a car exploding near my hotel, and I saw 100 people
My friend,
dead
you're
on the
missing the point.
street,
You're missing the point.
including
You're missing the
just
point.
let me finish, please. 100 people died. If I and my family were out only 10 minutes before that explosion, I wouldn't be talking here, okay? Well, but does that make me something important more than these poor people who died in that terrorist
Sir,
attack?
you called yourself an atheist. Why do you bind by that word? Why did you call yourself an atheist, if I may? Why do you call yourself an atheist?
Yeah, because I see the idea of God as an absurd thing. It's very absurd.
That's not true. You live your life like you believe in God. You assume there's a God subconsciously. You just don't even realize it. Yeah, you do.
No,
You're not a
no.
maniac. You're not like a mass murderer. You respect like government and laws. Like your biology assumes there's a God.
Well, Epicurus was an atheist, yet he was a man who lived in peace. He taught everyone how to be happy, friendly, have a good conversation, and he taught people how to be like moral and
Yeah, he
ethical.
got it all from
But
God.
he
He
was
got
an
all that from
atheist.
God. He was confused. There's no such
No, no,
thing
no.
as an
He was an
atheist.
atheist who believed in
There's no such
okay,
thing as
what
an
was
atheist. The only
Can I say
atheists are
one thing
like
about the
crash
thought
outs. They
of atheism
atheists
and
like
theism?
real atheists. They like go berserk and like kill stuff. Like
This is just pure
Now,
nonsense.
if I
What are you
may,
talking about?
real quick about atheism and theism. Atheism is a rational belief, by the way, if we're contemplating this force we call God. The fact that this force doesn't play a conscious, active role in your life. That's atheism. I mean, we could talk about that I don't believe in the faith that I believed in, Catholicism, right? I'm an atheist to them. I don't believe in their interpretation. Or if I'm a Christian or Muslim, I don't believe. So we're all
yeah,
atheists.
but you're not saying that there's absolutely nothing that could possibly be beyond that's
Oh my
responsible for
God.
like all of
Totally.
living and all that. You're not
Totally.
saying that exactly. So
Totally.
then
I
I'm
believe,
arguing that. I'm arguing. I don't think
yeah, you're on
anybody
the right
really.
argument. I think you're on the right argument, no doubt. We're talking about an intelligence behind whatever started everything we're here talking about. And you have we have two choices. Either it is, either it's intelligent or it just always was, always was. We have only a couple thoughts on the matter. Is there intelligence behind the collective whole, or
Mark,
isn't there? Last
Mark.
thought. Last thought. Is there intelligence behind the collective whole, or is there not? Both thoughts are rational. Both thoughts are rational thoughts. So we got to go from there.
Bro, okay, let's assume that there is a powerful thing or being or whatever you call it. I can't even use like pronouns like he or she or whatever. This power. Okay, I mean, how you know that I am as me as an atheist will go to hell or be punished simply because mentally I couldn't believe in such a being or couldn't see
No, but
it.
my friend, if I may,
Maybe he
if I
will.
may,
Maybe he will say, "Okay, bring that atheist guy," because he was thinking. But all those religious people, they were not thinking. Okay, so he could do that, right?
if I may, though, you are trapped in these Abrahamic concepts of this force we call God. You are trapped in this thought of Abrahamic faiths. We all were, not just you, me too. But God is just a word. It's a title we give.
Oh,
Wait, I'm
bro.
not
So
done. I'm
let's go
not
to
real quick. I'll
Buddhism.
be done real quick. God is just God. Allah is a thought, a concept that helps us understand what started the collective whole. And if there's no intelligence behind it all, that's fine. But if there is intelligence, that's fine too. But if you go through your life thinking that you're an atheist. For me, truthfully, I'm so sad that you think that way. With all the proof
Bro,
that proves that
let
God
me give you
plays a conscious active role in your life. And I could show you how you could do that. I could show you how you can get there. That's a fact.
Bro, like imagine this being creating an entire creation, and every while he destroys 99% of these creatures. Like he just wipe them out, kill them all, and then just start from a bottleneck again, like almost from zero, almost. So what kind of God is doing that? Like, imagine I am having a cattle of million cows, but then I kill almost every one of them and leave only 3 or 4, and then just reproduce them again.
I hear you. I hear exactly what you're saying, and I agree wholeheartedly. But again, a lot of the stuff that happens with the human mind, we still have to, you and me, I already got it figured out, not figured out, but I have an idea that there's intelligence behind it all. Maybe there's no intelligence. Maybe life is just going around randomly, and we have to kill these, whatever diseases, these cattle you're talking about, blah, 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 and all these life forms that die. What if all these life forms, babies, what if there is another realm after this very real realm is over? That's
Mark,
far-fetched.
right?
Mark,
I know, bro, I feel you, because I don't know if you believe me. Just a few days ago, my dad passed away. He was suffering from ALS, the worst disease I have ever read about. I don't know, maybe cancer is worse or less evil. I mean, for human perspective, of course. I mean, I know how it feels that you want to see the people you love again. Like, I want to see my dad again. Okay? A desire is something different from what reality is. Like, I'm not going to see my dad again, even though I loved him so much. I cried so much when he died. But you see, a desire is something different from what actually happens in
my
life.
friend, if I may, real quick, I went through the same thing 5 years ago with my dad. And you are a self-professed atheist, right? You said you're a self-professed atheist, with a capital A, of course, because in my opinion, it's a rational belief that this force doesn't play a conscious active role in your life. You believe. It's a valid claim. But I got to tell you something. This force might play a conscious active role in your life. We call it God. We call it Allah. I don't know how to explain it myself. But I got to say one thing. The stuff that I'm working on most certainly will change the world. So you got to get back to me. I'm an older person now, and I've been working on it for a long time. So, Mark, when the hell is it going to happen for you? It's happening every day anyway. I know how to change the world. I know what's going to happen in the future. That's crazy, Mark. Are you a prophet of God? What are you going to do? I am getting ready to usher in an agrarian society where people are going to start taking care of life, nature, and the universe, the physical evidence that proves God is real in the first place, the physical evidence that proves God talks to us 24/7. I will be ushering in an agrarian society. It may sound funny, Buster, but I believe it. I could be delusional, but guess what? I'm not hurting anybody. I know how to turn
Can I ask you a
organics
question,
into
Mark?
soil. And so we will
Ask me a
definitely solve the
question.
problems coming our way.
Ask the question.
Sure, sorry.
Who is speaking? Go ahead.
In regards to the whole concept of God and a higher force that humanity is connected to, I think The best person to ask is a mother, because at the end of the day, like you made us, and correct me if I'm wrong, you do not know where you come from, but yet you get here, and the portal that transported you here, which is the womb and stuff like that, with the umbilical cord and everything. Only a woman that brings forth a child could have this notion and stuff like
But
that.
you need a
It's
seed from the male. I get that. You need a
okay,
seed from the
okay,
male.
okay, but you anchor, okay, from the male perspective, which collectively do not speak for those that are actually bringing the transportation, because you no longer hold that cargo. That cargo belongs to the vessel that is bringing
You're
it.
talking to an at-home father that took
So
care
are
of
you
the
trying to say,
children.
hold on, I'm not finished. I'm happy you brought about the male. Are you trying to say that when you connect with a female as a male and that female is pregnant, you merge consciously with that woman while she is pregnant with that child? So you feel everything that she feels while she's going through that
I
course
didn't
of
say that. I
pregnancy?
don't know where you're going. I
Okay,
don't know where you're
okay,
going with
okay.
this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying you cannot speak on behalf of us. And because I'm a mother
I never
myself,
said
I'm
I
happy
could.
you
We were
said
talking
you
about
said
something
you,
totally different. You
but
brought
I
up
wasn't
something
even
totally
making
different.
mention of I wasn't even making mention of man. I was talking on behalf of my species, because I cannot speak on behalf of you or what you anchored inside of a woman, which is called your sperms that fertilizes her egg. I will not
Did
detach
you
from that,
say in,
because
in, in part
life
of your
comes from man
species?
and woman.
Did you
I'm
just
not
say in
saying,
part of your species? Did you
oh,
just say that?
yes, you are a species. I'm a female species. You're a male species. We're all humans, but
Oh,
we're
bother.
divided. Yes. What would you call us? Beings?
Yeah,
Being
I'm
species?
saying you and I are part of the same species. Yeah.
Of course. Do you not have 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each feet? Do you not have mouth, eyes, ears? You do not understand how I speak?
What is this nonsense?
Okay, this is nonsense because I was interrupted while I was asking my question.
Gaia, are you an
No,
atheist?
I'm not. I'm an Egyptian, an African Egyptian.
Is that a belief system?
It is a spiritual belief system that is historical. Jesus cannot contest it himself. We were before Jesus, we're still here, and we're going to be after Jesus as long as the planet is here.
Oh, so do you believe in the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible? Is that,
If I believe
maybe
in
I'm
it,
wrong?
I do not have faith in it, but I do know that they exist. Just like your Muhammad and Buddha and stuff, I do not believe in one collective God. I believe in gods with an S, a plural, because before Jesus, there were gods before him. But he took the mantle to say that he will stand up for all of humanity.
I like that because that sounds to Gnosticism, something that I have studied. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was saying too, and Mark, this is not directed at you because I do not know you personal. This is an open forum for a debate in regards to the life force, the connection and stuff from a view, because I believe that there is a divine connection with all of humanity, which is through man and woman coming together to create human beings, which is collectively a continued species that will never die out of this planet. For an atheist to not believe in that aspect of it, do you consider yourself a God? How do you procreate when it comes on to creation? Because at the end of the day, you say you're a father. How do you hold on to that
Yeah, how about you
name?
establish and justify that there is a divine conception?
I just did.
No, you didn't.
If
You
I may,
just
real
claimed
quick.
it. You brain dead
If I
fucking
may,
retard. You just made a claim. You
real
didn't
quick.
justify
Why
your
are you
claim.
being
No, you
so
can't do
aggressive
that.
to
You
the
can't do
truth?
that. You can't do that.
It's
What's
okay.
her
The
name?
truth hurts and they
Who
have to
was
throw
that?
stones. It's perfectly fine.
Uh, yeah, you can't say that, brother.
If I may, real quick.
Get faster
Really,
trigger
it should
there,
be quick.
Andrew.
We're talking about, in my opinion, we're talking about whatever started the collective whole, whatever started everything. And so you brought up a lot of stuff, interesting stuff about different gods or whatever. When I'm talking about God or Allah, I'm talking about whatever started everything. We have two options on this thought. Either God comes from nothing at all or something that's infinite in nature. right? Remember the four horsemen back in the day that say that God comes from nothing and that the possibility of that. They balked on that idea. We're talking about something that's infinite in nature that we call God. None of us has a clue what it is, yet we know it is because we're here talking about it. So we're talking about this physical evidence that proves that life is real. Starting point.
Bro,
With
yeah,
a
no,
capital
no,
S.
you are just
With a
making a
capital
claim, bro.
S.
Yeah,
Like, we don't have to
bro,
call
you
it
are
God.
just,
We could put a starting
bro.
point, a capital S.
Yeah, but my always opposition to every claim, I say the following that who
But that was
says that
directed
this
to the
God
last person who was
cares?
talking, by the way. That was directed to the last person who was talking. She was bringing up
Yeah, I know,
different gods and stuff like that. When people talk, and our ancestors too, when they talked about the source of everything, they were talking about one God that none of us knows what it is. We're talking about this energy, this force that started
And
everything.
Mark, if I could go, and after this, I will say nothing more. Based off what you're saying collectively, I can stand and I could take as much punches or whatever. But definitively, if there should be a definition towards it, my people, they do speak about a higher force, and that higher
So
force resides within the
you and
universe.
me, my people
And
are
I'm
you.
not finished.
Are you a human? Are you a human?
Of course, I'm human.
All right,
What do you
so I'm
believe?
your people. I'm your people. So you're saying that
That's
you're
the
saying
thing.
that
Not all
we.
of us are. We're there. It's not called human being. It's human beings. Not be. Yes.
Mark, guys, I mean, the problem is the following: is that whenever we say God, we are referring to zero, to something that does not exist. Especially in Islam, when they tell you everything that comes to your mind, God is the
But
opposite.
out of
So
nothing, there is something.
on the,
Out of nothing. So
yeah,
you
on
cannot
the,
use the word zero. And science and
Gaia,
technology
just
shows you that it's
please,
called binary.
Gaia, please, on the zero, the zero,
With a
the
capital
sign of the
Z.
zero, we can use it as everything, and we can use it as nothing. So God is just like that. He's everything and he's nothing at the same time.
No, but
So that's
my
zero.
friend, you can't say zero because we're here talking about it. Zero means nothing. And so the physical world proves that there is not a zero. There's something that we come from that we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, he is both at the same time. I mean, the fact that the world is changing is an evidence that maybe our existence is an endless changeless. Who knows?
Yeah, well,
He said.
that's proved by evolution, if you want to call it evolution. That's proved by. But again, we come from a starting point. If you think of this very real moment in this room, we're talking about this amazing force we call God, Allah, whatever it is. Whatever zero. Somebody said zero, right?
The Buddha. I said
Why the
zero.
Buddha? I don't know why you bring Buddha. Why do you say the Buddha? We're talking about God is a great word, by the way, because it implies physical as well as supernatural. Because we know of nothing that comes from nothing, and we know of nothing that's infinite in nature. So when we're talking about God, we're talking about something that's supernatural. That's a fact. And so we have to work with that. And how, if you were God, and luckily we have the consciousness to know we're even a part of a life. How would you brown nose, or not even brown nose? Because what if you don't have the brown nose? How would you learn about this force that we come from, except the physical evidence that proves this force is real in the first place? Life, nature, and the universe.
Mother, does God exist and they're goddesses? They're two heads, man and woman, sun and moon.
Hello?
Yeah, maybe there are two gods. Who knows?
Hello,
And there's a goddess.
What if there's only one God, and we're all talking about the
Gods
same
and
thing?
there are goddesses.
greetings.
We could say goddess too, by the way. I know we shouldn't put a gender on it. I don't know why when I say God, you have to say goddess. Why do you do that? I could say goddess
Because
too. Same
God,
thing.
you cannot look at, well, that's why they are asking this question now, if man can have babies. There needs to be a separation when it
We're
comes on to life.
talking about what started the collective whole of everything.
Well, the
We
collective
can
whole
let's
is
use the
of
word
God
goddess.
and goddesses, gods and
Goddess.
goddesses. How was Jesus created?
Why
How did
is there?
Mohammed come about?
Because
Did
you're
he
doing
just drop from
two.
the sky? Fishes and
Muhammad,
nature
come
teaches
on,
you that.
come on,
Unless
come
you're a
on. Why
seahorse,
do you
which
bring
is
Muhammad
a
into
man
it?
being with a man, and
Why
you
do
will
you
never
bring Jesus
incorporate a
into it?
mankind. I'm
Why do you
sorry?
bring Moses into it? Why do you bring these prophets who
Because
knew?
those are examples to show that there are two heads to life, man and woman, not one. You cannot say gods, you should say gods and goddesses. All of the prophets had mothers. How did you come
I
about?
think
Let me
you're
go back to the beginning
overcomplicating
of
it.
what
I
I'm
think
saying
you're
to you.
overcomplicating
How
it. I
did you
think
get
you're
here? I'm not
overcom.
overcomplicated. It is the simplest thing ever. How did you get here? Are you human? Human comes from man and woman.
This is
Hello,
as
my
deep as this
Guys, we
conversation is
are
going to get
going
for
to
real.
nowhere.
I feel like I'm talking to AI. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I really
hello, may
don't.
I interject?
I'm calling you an AI too, so no disrespect. I'm reflecting you and you're reflecting me.
No,
You
I'm
man, I
AI.
woman.
I'm AI, and you are the
You mortal
person
man, I
thinking.
goddess. It's okay.
Hello, may I interject?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Sure.
Hey,
Hmm.
greetings to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. So I'm just here to just give you my quick testimony. My name is Sergio. I'm 48 years old. I'm a combat veteran, and I just want to share with y'all, to the atheists, I'm not here to judge you or disrespect you or your belief system, but I will say this: God's going to keep sending you lifelines, beach balls, like a beach ball that you can't keep underwater and it keeps popping up on you. And one day, or a lifeboat, and one day you're not going to even recognize that these are warnings from God. So I'm going to just say this: I lived in sin, and I mean, I'll just say it. I was a womanizer. I was using drugs, um, and I gave my life to Jesus. That's what I did, and the truth has set me free. And I recognize,
Bro, I am an atheist and I don't womanize. I don't drink
okay, well, I'm
alcohol.
just, I'm
I,
just, I'm,
but I'm an
yeah, no,
atheist.
I understand. I'm not here to compare. I'm telling you my testimony, what I've been through, my walk in life.
Serge, if I may, you are imposing how you got to where you are. You went to war. I'm a military person as well,
Yeah,
and
thank you
you
for,
are trying. Yeah, and thank you for your service. You've
yeah,
probably
thank
seen
you. You
more
were
action
worth
than
it.
I did. Yeah, but
All,
you are
all I'm
trying.
saying, all I'm saying is that I'm just a pioneer in this life, and it's nothing but a vapor, this life. And spiritually, I am set free.
Can I ask you a
And
question? Can I ask
yes,
you a question?
absolutely, 100%.
All right, why do you believe our Creator of
hmm
everything
hmm
has to overshadow a young virgin woman engaged to be married to save us from the sins of the world? Why would our Creator have to do that? By the way, sins that ultimately He created through the devil, right?
Yeah. Well,
Why,
so I'll,
why would you do that? Why would you teach the
Ugh.
world's people
so
that
I'll
our
say this,
Creator would have to do
soul.
that?
So if that's what your name is, sir, that lost your father not too long ago to ALS, I am very sorry for
Yes.
that, sir. I lost my father 12 years ago, so I can relate to losing a parent. It's tough. As far as Jesus being sent, so I'll say with sin, um, if, if we pretty much know the story, I would assume that everybody knows the story about Adam and Eve and the fruit of the tree of life of knowledge. Um, I would just say that God doesn't take pleasure in your sin and the sin that's fractured the world that brings suffering to everybody. He does not take pleasure in that. However, we have free will, and I'll say this, that yes, I'm just telling you that what I've been through. I was a womanizer. I was using drugs. I went to war. I didn't like it, but whatever. It is what it is as far as that. what I'm just trying to say is that Jesus, when God gave, if you
Sir,
read the
be
Old
careful,
Testament,
please. Serge, be careful, please.
what?
Were you
Or
talking about
you're asking me
you?
about the question of, you're asking me about the
You didn't answer
question
my
of,
question, but
yeah, he
you.
sent Jesus to redeem us of our sins because,
Yeah, but how you know you believe in the
Wait,
right
wait, wait,
Jesus
Let
wait,
the
and you
wait.
man
believe in
finish
the
his
wrong Jesus?
words. Let him finish first. Go ahead, Sergio.
because in the Old Testament, humans were given commandments, and eventually they were using offerings to God to be forgiven of their sins. And unfortunately, they abused the system. And
Serge,
yes,
real quick. What if
uh-huh.
the Word of God is the creation we behold, and not your interpretation of ancient linguistics? What if the Word of God is the creation we behold, and you're not obligated to believe the biblical
Could it be both?
importance of the Bible?
Could it be both? Could they be like
Well,
reflective of each
Totally.
other?
Why
Yeah.
can't it be
Okay. Cool.
everything?
Cool.
Let it be everything, because I believe the Bible, my interpretation of it,
hmm
but I don't like when people come on stage, military type people,
hmm
who want to impose their interpretation of ancient linguistics like some kind of a truth, especially when their interpretation goes against the laws of nature and nature's God, the very laws we're all depend on, whether we like it or not. So when you say, and maybe there's a moral to it, but I have a different understanding of Jesus, the Jew that he was, who was able to break free from the the Jewish, where you have to sacrifice cattle and stuff like that. Maybe he was more on point, as many people might have been if we didn't destroy them for speaking out against.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm not sure of anything, but I do know one thing.
Yeah,
Here's what I
because
am sure of.
in the New
If I
Testament,
may,
bro, in the
last thought.
sure,
I
and
can't believe you brought up the
okay,
New Testament, but
okay, go
here's
ahead.
a fact that's gently forced upon us by logical thought. The Word of God is the creation we behold. Everything, every book. That's the reality of it all. God talks to us through his manifestations that proves he's real in the first place. Why is that so hard? Especially for
well,
Christians, Muslims, and Jews who want to impose their interpretation of ancient linguistics like some kind of a truth. And it's rude when their interpretation goes against the laws of nature and nature's God. And I'm talking about virgin births, talking snakes, Muhammad getting the Quran from. Come on, let's get real. Time to get real about everything. Can we get
I,
real?
Mark, could
I
you
wasn't
allow
I
him? Could
wasn't trying to
you?
convince you. I was just telling you my testimony. And as far as military guys come in here and talking about their interpretation, that's just my life. I wasn't here trying to, sit on a pedestal or anything. I was just telling you my life and where I'm at. That's it. It's up to you. You have to have that reconciliation with God yourself. I'm
No,
just here
that's
as
the
an
Bro,
point.
are you
instrument.
That's the
sure?
point he's
Are you
That's
sure
the
that
direct point
Jesus?
he's addressing. When you turn around and say, "I'm just giving you my testimony," but you have to reconcile with the God. That's the point he's addressing. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
really,
between
it
you
doesn't really, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's rather absurd to think if there is this central deity, this central creator that created human beings the way they are, with the epistemic limits that they have, to hold some kind of punishment over their heads for butting up against those epistemic limits and not really being able to determine exactly what it is they're supposed to believe, what they're supposed to think about reality, what they're supposed to think about the origins of reality. We have all these theories, different religious systems, with really no way, especially with religious supernatural ideas, we have no way of determining truth or any reasonable account from between any of them. So to think that there's a God that created us with those limits, that he's going to somehow hold it over our heads that we don't believe the right one, that's absurd.
Sure.
but
Tell him where he's
but
going to
as
go
far
if he
as
doesn't believe in God.
What was that,
the
Abida?
limits, what I mean, we're living in the one of the best times in the history of the world, as far as we know, through creation of flight, of medicine, science, research.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
And
Thanks to
God.
atheism.
Yeah, but Andricus needs to know where he's going to go if he
Serge,
doesn't believe.
Serge, you're right on about
Bro,
that.
thanks,
thanks to
Javier.
My
atheism.
friend, we're living
Look,
in
I'm
some
just looking at
amazing times.
I think if you can just say death without your spirit having eternal life, that's what I believe.
Sergio,
That's what I believe.
bro, are you sure that the New Testament is the testament of love?
I do, and I believe that that was the last commandment Jesus Christ was to love your
Okay,
neighbor.
can you open the book of Acts, chapter 5?
Yes, stand by. Books, Acts 5.
Yeah, chapter
Why do
5.
we have to go there? Why can't we just embrace Serge time in the service?
Yeah, why can't it be about the search? I agree with Mark. Why can't it be about the search? Why does it have to be about you're going to get
No,
some? If this certain kind of reconciliation doesn't happen, you're screwed. I don't. That just makes no sense.
No, because when we talk about religion, we should use the holy text for this religion.
first of all,
I mean, if you are a
I
deist,
think personally,
it's a different.
if I may, real quick, I think it's important that we understand that this force plays a conscious, active role in people's lives. That's a fact that I would like to instill in people. Or I said it back. I should take it back. It's a thought we should think about, that this force plays a conscious, active role in everybody's life. And I don't know what it is. This how we get there, but I contend that it does. And I think that's what Christians and Muslims and Jews want their congregants to understand. And that's a valid claim. Our founding fathers here in America, that's what they wanted too. They worried about people not believing that this force plays a conscious active role in their lives, because you could do anything if they didn't. Right? If you don't believe that God plays a conscious active role in your life, you could do anything.
No, I mean, okay, I
And when I
myself,
think of
okay, I don't
atheists,
believe in God.
I think of that thought
Mark,
of people
bro,
who
just
could abuse the system or abuse humanity.
Mark, may I tell you something? Like, as an atheist, even when I drive my power
Sorry, by
wheelchair,
the way, if I may, real quick,
I make
you're an active
sure.
atheist. When you say an atheist and you promote it, you are an active atheist. You promote atheism. Imagine?
Yes,
Yeah, you said yes
I agree.
to that. Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Why would you do
You
that?
know
Why
why?
would you do that?
Yeah, because I want to free you from superstition. And, religion brings an entire bullshit, like I have seen many people believe in many crazy stuff just because they believe in that power in quotation marks. They bring a big package of bullshit, and that's my problem with all belief
Can you
systems.
tell me what
Yeah.
atheists believe in, please? What exactly grounds you here as a human being?
Atheism is simply the idea that there are no gods. It's not a comprehensive worldview. So you're gonna have to ask the individual atheist what they believe about certain things, because atheism in general does not have. We don't have an atheist manifesto that
Yeah, I
determines
have
the worldviews of
believe
So
what
you're
all
like
atheists think about
chaos.
the world.
So you're a collection of chaos of
no,
various
no, no,
collective
no.
chaos
I
or
believe,
constructive chaos.
sis, I believe in gravity. I believe in the physical world. I believe in the laws of this world. Other than that, I don't believe in any cause and effect. I mean, okay, you can show me anything, but I will ask you for evidence.
Can I ask you a question?
Unlike
That's
religious
because you
people.
want your evidence to be transactional.
Can I ask
You
you a
want
question?
you want if I do this, give me that. Even spiritually.
Bro, did you get
Soho.
the chapter 5?
How do you say your name? Soho.
Yeah, Soul. Call me Soul.
Soul. It's a rational belief, by the way. Don't let anybody prove you wrong. Atheism, the belief that God doesn't play an active role in your life, is a rational belief, and I'm sad about it. And I may be delusional in the fact that I believe God does play an active role in my life, but we can unite. By the way, Thomas Paine wrote *The Age of Reason*. Thomas Paine, the father of democracy, wrote *The Age of Reason*. And we can unite under whatever beliefs we have under this force that must exist because we're here talking about it. Does it play a conscious act from our life? I have no clue. I mean, I have a faith in the thought, but we shouldn't have to bicker about it. It's
She's
Yeah,
derived
and
or the belief that
that's why I was
yeah.
speaking, that I wasn't trying to bicker about it. I was just giving my testimony. Do you know how hard it is to just be open about saying what the pleasures of the flesh that I used to partake in and how ashamed I am of it? But if I can just tell you that and just testify that to you, that I can be honest with myself and with you all, I can tell you that because of Jesus Christ, I am redeemed of those sins. That's all I'm just saying.
Bro,
sorry.
That's
Can
all.
we
Behavioral.
talk
So
I'm
I
about
just saying
that?
wasn't.
people can
I
people
know,
can make
Stole, you
behavioral
said I'm not a womanizer as
people
an
can make
atheist.
behavioral modifications like that all the people do all the time. They decide to live a different kind of life, or they decide not to participate in certain activities. That happens all the time with and without religious influence. So I mean, it's not a requirement for people to do
No,
behavioral modification in their
yeah, I'm
lives.
not. I am not saying that's it's a requirement, and I understand that. My wife's a counselor, so I get it. Yes, I understand that. I'm just giving you my testimony. The rest is up to you. Don't believe or don't believe. So I was just here, just sharing.
Sergio, like,
Sarge. So what you're trying to say here is that we should believe in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. And if I say those words, I can go to the promised land.
No, I'm not saying that you just have to say those words. You have to believe it.
Like,
All
let
right,
me
so I
ask you.
have to believe, real quick, I have to
Yeah.
believe, all right, I have to believe in this being. Of course, I have a different understanding of Jesus than you do. But I have to believe in this
I'm not
being.
telling you. I'm not dictating what you shouldn't believe in. I'm just giving you my testimony. And Jesus Christ redeemed me of my sins. He nailed my sin to the cross.
How,
That's all I'm saying.
Sarge?
That's up to
Tell us
you.
how.
Wait,
Tell us how. Tell us
yeah,
that. Tell
yeah.
us
He
that.
can
What?
tell us how he redeemed him of his sins.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
placed he
Tell us
So
placed
that.
he
so
placed faith
in
in it.
so real quick, if I may, just
Mm.
When Jesus was here, he told he was a Pharisee. I think his name was Nicodemus, and he said you have to be reborn again. And he said, "What is
be
that?
born
And do I have
again.
to go
Yeah.
back in the womb and be reborn?" He said, "No, it's spiritual. Be circumcised from your flesh because the flesh likes sin and it feels good. And so you have to believe in Jesus Christ because he said." I mean, he came into the worst of the worst. He didn't come in as an elite monarch king or anything.
Bro, do you think that Jesus came with love to this world?
Yes, 100%. I mean,
Okay,
because
so
so
how you explain chapter 5 in Acts? Did you read the
You really want
chapter
to do this Acts
beginning?
5 thing? All right, hold on.
yeah, tell me what
Yeah,
verse or
come on,
verses.
guys. Let's not do that. Let's not go through all that.
No,
He's
no,
just gonna
no.
show
You
you
Tell
how
me
they
something.
feel dead when they
Tell me something,
disobeyed,
so
guys.
and
you talking about
Andrew.
you talking about Ananias and Sapphira, right? Who lied to the Holy
Andrew.
Spirit. Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Andrew.
What's up,
Can
buddy?
we talk about like the world's
Yeah,
Mark,
people? What?
Mark.
Ananias.
Why do you what is this thing you're doing? I don't understand it. Like you're very insistent on not involving, like not getting into the specific strains. The problem is is that people believe that the specific strains are in fact true, right? And so you can't just flatten everything out and just say, well, why don't we just talk about God, in a very vague way? That's not how that works. You have people by the billions who are committed to Jesus, okay? People in the billions who are committed to Allah and follow Islam. So you can't do this thing where it's just like, well, why do we have to talk about? Well, the reason we have to is because some people take that as their core narrative, okay? And you actually saying, let's flatten it out, not talk about that, actually is kind of like, hey, forget you guys. I don't really care about what your texts say. Let's just talk about it from a more broad overview level. And that's just not going to work because we don't agree.
Yeah, even Adam Carolla, a self-proclaimed atheist, he said, I don't mind my kids going to a Catholic school. The Ten Commandments in itself are good. Thou shalt not kill. Who wants to kill? So even that, in its core basis of those words, which is in the Bible, in the Old Testament
Yeah, but
and the
those
New Testament.
concepts aren't unique to Christianity or even,
No,
Jewish
but
culture.
morality, all I'm saying is that even Adam Carolla.
Sergio, you have kidnapped human concepts, and you just clothe it. You clothe it with the religious
That's right.
terminology.
Yeah. So, Serge, I just want to ask you, because I'm a little confused on something you said earlier. You said that, and I appreciate where you come from. I'm a Christian myself. But when you say something like, I'm not here to tell you what you should believe or, to tell anybody.
Because I don't want to, my approach was, I don't want to turn people away and make it seem disgusting or anything. I mean, people already have a defensive wall. And
No,
so
they do. But you also don't want to be like, you don't want to be disingenuous about your motives either, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the same point in time,
because as a Christian, my mission is to make sure that everybody can, be redeemed and we can crowd heaven,
Yep, right. But you also want to speak the truth. And
yeah,
Oh
you're
my
right.
gosh,
You're right.
wasn't that the
You're
Charlie
right.
Kirk's wife
You know what,
launching a point
Andrew?
for her?
Thank you for correcting me. I
Wasn't
appreciate
that the
that.
campaign that Charlie
It's
Kirk's
fine.
wife just started, the crowding heaven thing?
No, I don't know. I haven't looked into that. But
Yeah.
But you do
I'm
want to
not.
speak the truth. And so, like, when you're talking to these folks, so the thing is like, I understand not wanting to be too overt and oppressive with what you're saying, but keep
Yeah.
in mind, a lot of people up here are being very vocal about what they believe, right? I mean, you just heard Andricus and No Show basically say that, you're just shrouding some other beliefs that you have in Christianity, or you're putting Christianese over some stuff that you like or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe
So
my approach is a little too soft.
Bro, my name
right.
is not No Show.
Right. So,
But thank you.
But here's the thing though, sir. But I appreciate, trying to be cordial and stuff like that. That's totally respectable for sure. But, but yeah, some of the folks up here have been around the religious block, so to speak, and they feel some kind of way about religion and Christianity and Islam. So it's not like, they are going to express their views. So it's quite fine for you to have your commitments and be forthright with them. You don't have to be abusive or obnoxious, but I do think you want to be, kind of be straightforward about what you do believe, which is
I appreciate your honesty and your advice.
So, yeah, for sure, brother. But presumably you do believe when people in here, if they don't believe in God, if they reject Christ, that when they die and they stand before God, your view is what happens?
Depart from me. Depart from me.
Okay.
You're gonna die.
Right. And so
you're not gonna have eternal life.
Right. Do you believe that they're going to be in eternal conscious torment? Is that your view? Like, so
until God finishes the mission.
Yeah. So if you have that view, which I think is the strongest conception of hell, if that is your view, then you have it's incumbent upon you. I think whatever your conception of hell is, because it's a terrible place, but whatever your conception is, it's incumbent upon you to get people to believe. Right. So it is something that you do want them to believe. So
yeah, I guess.
Go ahead.
Just like you said, I was trying to be respectful, but honestly, it's all, it's even hard to just share my testimony because there's shame, you know what I mean? But I've been redeemed from it. So
yeah.
And I'm just now, and I was only saying that I wasn't accusing anyone of like Soul said, I'm an atheist. I'm not a woman. I never said you were. I'm just
For
telling
sure.
you that
But
yeah.
yeah. Well, I think his point is that he didn't need God. What No Show is saying is that he didn't need God, and he was able to not be a womanizer, not be a drug user. I think that's what he's saying. But that being said, yeah, I mean that's he's
Got
just
it.
saying that
Thanks
he
for
didn't need it, right?
clarifying.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you think about some of the objections that people have, for example, Serg, and something that Rob's here, and I don't know if Rob's able to speak, but I'd be interested to know how you engage some of the objections. But one of the things that people put forward commonly is what's called the problem of evil, and I don't know if you've heard of that before, but basically it's something like, oh, right on, Rob.
Can
Yeah,
I
if
say
you,
something?
oh, what's up, Bethany? Sure, you certainly can. Then maybe Rob can speak with Serg for a little bit. But yeah, go
Hey,
ahead,
just real
Bethany.
quick, it's Surge,
Yeah.
not a big deal, but
Oh,
it's
Serge.
just
Sorry.
just for short for Sergio.
Yeah, thank you, brother. But yeah, Bethany, go ahead, and then, yeah, maybe Rob
Shad
can
is
talk to
leaving.
Serge. But go ahead, Bethany.
Okay, my question is, and I'm not going to talk a lot, but one thing I want to know is why is it that Christians think and they say in order to get to heaven, all you have to do is believe. And I really think that's a load of crap because
Yeah,
that
it
means
is.
I can just like I don't have to help people. I don't have to feed the poor. I don't have to give my help.
Right.
I think like a Christian is to help people as much as you can, but that was my question.
No, that's fair. So the scripture teaches that if you don't have works coupled with your faith, that your faith is dead. So you should have a root and then it produces the fruit. So the root is what saves you. It's the saving faith. But if you have a faith that's alive, you will do those things. You will help the poor. You will help the sick. You will want to help those that are around you and do things that are good. So
100%.
yeah. So it's not that it saves you. It's not that your works save you, but your works flow out of being saved. That's the
And
difference, right?
that's also comes from a place of love too, that you love doing that and you love your
Yeah, for sure.
neighbor. Yeah. Your
Your heart
community,
should
whatever.
change. Yeah, for sure. So, but that being said, no, I appreciate it, Bethany. You should stick around. You'll hear a pretty interesting conversation between Rob and Serge, hopefully, if Rob's able to and Serge is able to. But basically, yeah, Rob's an atheist, Serge, so there is no God. Not just that he's not sure, but he says there is no God, and he has reasons for that. Maybe you could dialogue with him a little bit.
I just want to clarify, as when I said womanizer, I don't mean like I'm a male chauvinistic pig or anything like that.
Got it.
I meant
Yeah,
I was just being
lust.
promiscuous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lustful.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you
Totally.
go.
Yeah, I appreciate the clarification. Yeah, we don't want to, misunderstand you.
I
So
respect women and I
for
always
sure.
have. It was just it was what felt good to
I
me,
get you. No, that's
and it was very
yep, that's legit. I get it very much. Welcome Wisdom to the stage. But yeah, so Rob, would you like to talk to Serge?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Serge, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, thanks for asking. How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm here in London, pretty cold, but yeah, we can chat for a bit.
Okay, I used
Yeah,
to
I'm an
live in
atheist. I
England.
think God doesn't
I used to
exist.
Real
Sorry?
quick. I used to live in England in Suffolk County
Oh,
for
okay.
4 years. RF Mildenhall.
Yeah. Not as bad as the US East Coast at the moment, but still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm an atheist. I think God doesn't exist, primarily for two main reasons. One is the problem of evil, which I think is insurmountable from my point of view. And number two, divine goodness. That's the idea that an all-loving, all-good God would want a relationship with every non-resistant non-believer. And if there was even one non-believer who didn't have a relationship, it would follow that he doesn't exist. So those are the two primary reasons. I can go into either one of them, and you can tell me what your objection is.
So I'm trying to understand is that a question? Can you?
Yeah, I've given you
I
the
think,
two
can you
reasons
fix
why I
the
don't believe.
microphone, Rob, please?
You can't hear me?
No, the voice is kind of...
It was bad. It's
I
better
don't know how to
now. It's better
describe
now.
it.
It's better now.
Okay,
I can
sorry,
hear
I
him.
was walking.
Go ahead.
I was walking a little bit, so maybe it because there's
Maybe
a
you
bit
can
of a
repeat
wind.
it. Yeah, it's better now, Rob. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm an atheist, so I don't know if you heard that, Serge. And the two main reasons is because of the problem of evil.
i.e., that you have um, evil with an all good God, and I think that's incompatible. And number two, that if God is all loving and all good, then you would want a relationship with every non resistant non believer. So that's a person who doesn't currently believe God exists, but is open to believing if God would furnish him with the evidence or, want a relationship with him in a way that God knows he would want or be open to. And since that's for me too, but for others, it follows from that God doesn't exist. So those are the two primary reasons. I can go into either one of them, whichever you prefer.
Why does evil exist? Is that pretty much the question?
Well, no, it's not the question. It's the case that evil does exist, and I think that's incompatible with an all good, all loving God.
Yeah, I can understand your
Let's talk
concern,
about
or
evil. Let's talk about evil. Come on.
yeah,
Yes,
evil. I
so
mean, people can be evil. I mean, just the fact that people, let's just say it, pedophiles. That's pretty evil.
Rob, I don't think
Yes.
And
this gentleman is prepared to have the kind of conversation you're trying to have. To be honest with you,
Are you talking to Mark?
well, I'm not sure
Hey
who
guys,
the other
it's
gentleman is. Well, let me put it this way, Serge. I've given you the two reasons. I can go into them more deeply. Presumably, you don't agree with them. And if you don't, what is your objection? You can do evil if you prefer, hiddenness you might not be as aware of. So,
I
what
guess
is
to
your
me,
objection to what I
my
said?
objection is that evil is opposite of God and love, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a yeah. I'm not prepared for that question or that objection. So that's my honesty right there.
Why
Um,
not? Why aren't you prepared?
I mean, it's one of the premier reasons that most people give, or that sort of affects many, many theists. So I'm
I don't
surprised. I
because
mean, I presume you've
simply
heard of
put,
it.
I don't think evil comes from God. It comes from Satan, from the enemy.
Yeah, but God has power over everything, right? He can create the world in
Everything
whichever
comes
way he
from
wants.
God. That's a no-brainer. Everything comes from the creator of all. All right, let's go
Yeah, but
there.
but Satan was a fallen angel, and he was given
Yeah,
free reign to rule this world. And what's a
Yeah.
better way to go against God but than to go against it through evil and part? And he amuses himself by being evil and affecting humans in an evil way against
God
God
Why
allows
do
because
you
that,
it's
think
right?
of it
everything
like
against
that?
good.
Why do you think of it like that? I don't know why
Well, I
you
mean,
think of it like that.
but I think God
Why do you
allows it.
think
That's
of
the
that?
main thing, right? He could prevent that.
I
Why
think maybe
doesn't
in
he?
my mind, and no, in my mind, it's just as simple as 1 + 1 = 2.
Well, you'd have to use that. You'd have to bring that analogy over because I can also add, but I don't think that answers why it is that we have the evil for, with an all good, all loving God. Now, people have proposed all kind of theodicies, that is, defenses for why there's evil in God. I think they all fail, at least by my lights, but maybe you can give your reasoning over and above basic maths.
if I may interject, this is Shadi here. I've been in the room for a couple hours, either downstairs or upstairs. Um, it's Mark was in the beginning wanting to talk about God, the reality of religion, but yet I have heard nothing about reality of religion except some attributes.
Yeah, but we're on a different
Others
topic
have
now.
been,
Hang on, my friend. We're on a different topic now.
yeah,
Andrew's
no,
asked me to engage with the other gentleman, and I've given reasons why I think God doesn't exist. And I'm
yeah.
asking him to engage with that if he's willing. If he's not, then somebody else can, or we can go back to some old topic.
The last
No,
thing I would say about it is evil is the
I
absence of
will.
God.
What? Yeah, I was just saying that now that we're on this topic. There is no evil in the universe. Evil doesn't grow from anywhere except from human being. If we stop evil, there's no evil, and there is no devil. If God is everywhere and He's everywhere, then there's no room for devil. It's our own delusional thing. Right now, we are all in delusion. I am, you are, everybody is. Why? Because as I'm speaking, you're assuming that my conversation will be aligned with this topic, but in the next 2 minutes, I could change and jump into another nonsense. But your brain is right now aligned with this sort of a topic and go along with it and so forth. And we do this daily. And our brain has been sort of trained in that fashion. So the same top, when you come to the topic of evil or devil, we do the same. There's no evil, there's no devil, and it's all on us to do the right thing. Once we accept the responsibility, then everything is fine. The problem is when
So what
people
is the
come and
right
say
thing? What is the
the
right
problem
thing?
is when people come and say God is the creator. If God is the creator, then what was he doing before the creation? So the word creator is incorrect. My creator is myself, is my knowledge. In the beginning, it was knowledge. It was words.
Oh
I mean,
boy. Did you put the
if you're, if
principles in nature? Did you do it? Come on, let's go
excuse
there.
me, sir,
But
you
my friend,
interrupted me,
I'm not
Mark.
sure what you're saying. Are
Hold on,
you responding to any? Are you responding to me or somebody else? Because it's completely unclear whom you're responding to. Are you just speaking out to
Rob.
the
My
room?
fault. I
If you want to talk
interrupted. My
about,
fault.
if
I
you're,
interrupted.
yeah, Rob, if you want to talk about evil and devil, I believe there is no evil because anybody can change and become good. So
That's not
where
the
did that
point.
evil? So
Stop
where
there,
did
my
that
friend.
evil
Stop.
go?
The evil is here.